Good morning. I'm Brittany Pederson with Renteria Vineyard Management here at the 13th Vineyard to give you a little harvest update today.
I'm Danielle Cyrot with CADE Winery. This is some Sauvignon Blanc up on Howell Mountain, and today we're going to press it and turn it into some amazing wine. What are you seeing in the vineyard so far?
So I think that in general we're seeing a little bit of a lighter crop year. Definitely, I think that this vineyard is, I know we've talked about this before, but I think this is kind of an anomaly vineyard this year. It doesn't really play by any of the rules.
Yeah.
Canopies, we have full canopies. Cluster size is pretty decent and large and full clusters, which is not what everyone else is seeing throughout the valley. So I feel like we're pretty lucky here. Being up on Howell Mountain, I think that the vines just tap into groundwater that just the valley floor doesn't have.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm seeing, and that's been pretty consistent throughout this whole year, I think.
Yeah.
Here at least at 13th Vineyard. So what do you think for this season so far? Sauv Blanc, Chards, kind of everything you've brought in at this point.
So far, it's the earliest pick of Sauvignon Blanc I've ever had.
Okay.
Starting on August 6th. So about a week to 10 days earlier than kind of the normal,
Okay.
Or average, but August 6th, first pick at 22 and a half bricks Sauvignon Blanc, kind of crazy. I wasn't ready for it, but we did it, and I think that's continuing to trend throughout the season. A little bit earlier start. We've had a couple of heat waves that are pushing things along. And I think, the flavors are great. Acids are still really nice. So we're getting that sugar accumulation, but also getting some nice acidities as well, which
Okay.
That's what we want. So what do you think has been the biggest challenge this year?
Yeah, I think it's no surprise that the drought is a huge factor, not just for us in our industry and grape growing, but obviously our whole state, and there's weird stuff going on everywhere, but
Yeah.
Water is definitely the number one topic of conversation. Do you have it? If you don't have it, how are you using it? Kind of all of the factors that go into that decision making. So I think it's had to change, and even here where we still have water, other vineyards don't, but changing our decision making. Using, trying to think about a little bit outside the box. And Grape Growers has always been good with that, giving us the tools, I think, to be able to even think further outside the box.
Yeah. Bring in some experts, other industries that can kind of help us make good decisions.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
So, gone are the days of irrigating because it's Tuesday. And since we're so concerned with water and the drought, why don't you talk about some of the strategies we've come up with at 13th?
Yeah, that'd be great. One thing that we're doing differently is, we're not in the block that we are doing this, but we are measuring the leaf temperature and then basically trying to act and react based on what the vines are really telling us,
Yeah.
which is what we've always kind of tried to do with pressure bombs and things of that nature, is really kind of gauge what the vine is feeling, how it needs to, bounce back after heat events. So that's one thing that we're doing here that I think has been really beneficial. We'll be socked in here sometimes until, almost noon.
Yeah.
But then there's other days where there's no fog and it's very hot at 8 a.m.
Right.
And that's something that, learning those inversion layers, learning your differences in your vineyard, I think that's been super helpful. And making it so that, no, we're not just irrigating on any Tuesday.
Yeah.
So that's a wrap for our harvest update today. Hopefully you've enjoyed, learned something new. Thank you so much for coming out, Danielle, and participating.
Well, hopefully 2021 is amazing, and we just bring in a bounty of fruit and make some amazing wine out of it this year. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Best vintage ever,
Yes.
2021.